Carla Moran was a normal woman. She had a normal life. 3 kids, a small house, a job at the library. Life wasn't perfect, not by a long shot, but it was hers. She was content. Then it began. The haunting, the terror, the entity. It started subtly, almost unnoticeable. A door creaking open, a cold spot in the hallway, just little things, easily dismissed. At first, Carla ignored it. She had more important things to worry about, like raising her children and paying the bills. The strange occurrences were just an annoyance, a minor inconvenience in her already busy life. One night, everything changed. Carla was home alone. The kids were at her mother's. The house was quiet, too quiet. She felt a presence, something dark and cold, watching her. Then it hit her. An unseen force slammed into Carla, throwing her against the wall. Pain exploded in her head. Fear gripped her heart. She lay there, gasping for breath, confused, terrified. This was no minor inconvenience. This was something evil. The attacks continued, growing stronger, more violent. Invisible hands left bruises on her arms, scratches on her back. Carla was living in a nightmare. She tried to explain it, to her friends, to her family, but no one believed her. They thought she was stressed, imagining things. But Carla knew the truth. Something was tormenting her, something evil and unseen. It wanted to hurt her, maybe even kill her. Desperate, Carla turned to anyone who would listen. Priests, paranormal investigators, even doctors. She needed answers. She needed help. But her story was met with skepticism. The investigators found no logical explanation for the events. The doctors diagnosed her with anxiety. Carla was alone, trapped in a horrifying reality that no one believed. The entity had her right where it wanted her, isolated and terrified. Carla went to a psychiatrist, Dr. Snedeker. He was her last hope. He listened patiently as she described the attacks, the fear, and the hopelessness. He seemed to believe her, or at least he didn't dismiss her. Dr. Snedeker brought in his team doctors, nurses, and technicians. They wanted to study Carla, to document the phenomenon, maybe even capture proof of the entity. Carla agreed. She had nothing left to lose. The team set up cameras, microphones, sensors. They wanted to record everything. Carla felt like a lab rat, but she cooperated, anything to make it stop. One night, the attacks reached a terrifying crescendo. The entity was relentless. Carla screamed for help. She begged for mercy, but her pleas fell on deaf ears. The entity was merciless. It reveled in her terror. Dr. Snedeker and his team witnessed it all. The cameras captured everything. The violent shaking of the room, the objects flying across the air, the sheer terror in Carla's eyes. They were finally convinced this was real, and it was dangerous. The team tried to intervene, to help Carla, but the entity was too powerful. It shrugged off their attempts like they were nothing. Carla was trapped, at the mercy of a force they didn't understand. Dr. Snedeker, to his credit, refused to give up on Carla. He brought in priests, psychics. He even consulted with parapsychologists. They performed exorcisms, cleansings, anything that might help. Slowly, the attacks began to subside. The entity seemed to be weakening, or maybe it was just bored. Either way, Carla was granted a reprieve, a moment of peace in a sea of terror. But the fear remained. The entity was never truly gone. It lingered in the shadows, a constant threat. Carla never fully recovered from her ordeal. The experience left her scarred, broken. She moved away, tried to rebuild her life, but the memory of the entity haunted her every waking moment. Some say the entity is still out there, waiting for its next victim, searching for another soul to torment. Be careful. You never know what lurks in the darkness.